everyone, welcome to my channel, and in today's video I'm gonna be talking about binge eating and also about how to stop this unhealthy habit. And just for the clarification here, when I mean the binge eating habit, I mean that someone consumes a huge amount of food in a really short period of time. So it might be for some people that in one sitting they will consume 2000 calories, someone else might consume 3000 of calories in one sitting. So again, it will really vary between person to person, but the main thing is that we need to think that someone consume much more food than what normally they would consume in that one really short period of time. And normally when people they binge, they have this sense of not being able to stop eating, and it's like a panicky urgency feeling. Addition to that, very often when people they binge, they don't chew but they swallow. And normally the binges they happen in secrecy. And also normally when people they binge on food that is high in sugar, in fat, and is highly processed. We need to also remember that for many of us it is very easy to fall into the trap of binge eating. And one of the reasons for that is that we actually, as humans, we have been programmed to soothe ourselves with food, with swallowing. And that goes back to when we were born as babies. So when we were sucking and swallowing, that was actually soothing us and helping us to relax. And then only later in life, when we were toddlers, when we were growing up, that's when we've learned, with the support of our parents and other caregivers, that there are also other more helpful ways of dealing with emotions. But unfortunately, not all of us had the right support at the right time to know now what to do when we feel sad or upset. And therefore, people who didn't have the support, who hasn't learned in their childhood how to deal with their emotions in a healthy way, now they might be more prone to reach out for food when they feel stressed or upset. And also another really important factor that might be contributing why people are falling into the trap of binging, it is that our food industry actually is designed in a way so that we become addicted to food. So about 70% of products in supermarkets actually consist of some amount of sugar, and sugar is highly addictive. So every time we have one bite of product that consists sugar, then the next time we want that product again, and then, as we know with the addiction, we're not gonna get satisfied with the same amount. We want more and more and more of those products. So again, it is really easy to fall into the trap of binging when we live in that kind of environment. So now I hope that with this awareness, you're gonna feel more compassion towards yourself rather than feeling guilty or maybe shameful about this unhelpful binge eating. So one of the things that you could do to help yourself to deal with your binge eating habit, it is to make sure that you schedule regularly your meals throughout the day, so that you don't become overly hungry. And for some people it might be also helpful to have snacks in between the meals, and again with aim to prevent you becoming really hungry, so when you sit at the table to eat, you don't even have a chance to eat your food, but you just swallow it. The second point that you could revise here is that sometimes people, when they have these unhealthy habits, they really try to eat healthy. So you might eaten this really good healthy meal thinking that that's gonna be your dinner and that's it, you've eaten for the day, but then maybe 20-30 minutes later you start feeling hungry. So then you reach out for other things, and that's maybe when you start binging. So it will be really important to actually reevaluate your meals and see whether the meals that you're planning for yourself are actually able to fill you up. Number 3, it is to remember that none of the mainstream food restrictive diets will help you with your binge eating. So whether there are 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, 100 days diets, they're not gonna help you. They're gonna only restrict certain foods, then that increase only your cravings for those foods, and then you're gonna start reaching out for them and start binging on them. So the more you're gonna be on those diets, the higher chances are that you're gonna start binging more and more. Number 4, it is about being able to recognize whether you are hungry or thirsty. And yes, that might sound quite strange to you, but at least some of us, at times when we feel thirsty, we might be reaching out for food. So in those moments when you're reaching out again for food, you might question yourself, have I actually had enough water today? And then you might actually realize that after having a glass of water, your urge to eating is being satisfied. Number 5, it is about having consistent routine of meals throughout the day. So that will be the routine that your body will recognize as something consistent, familiar, and we know from research that familiarity, consistency can actually reduce anxiety. Number 6, it is about making sure that when you're having your meal, you don't eat in front of the screen, because that increases the chances that you're gonna overeat. So you might not even realize, but maybe you've eaten much more than actually what you wanted. Number 7, it is about having one plate of meal. So making sure that all the food that you want to eat for your meal, it's on one plate, or sometimes maybe it has to be on a plate or maybe a bowl, but you know exactly what you're eating. So if I will give you an example of, let's say, a mother, she's having a plate of food, but then she's sharing that with her child, and then after she's finishing her lunch, she doesn't know how much she's eaten, and that can be quite problematic in context of binge eating. Number 8, it is about making sure that you're having enough sleep, which is normally for healthy adults somewhere between 7 to 8 hours, because when we don't sleep enough, then we're gonna feel more hungry during the day. Number 9, it is about avoiding social media content that is related to food, especially the mukbangs. Number 10, it is about in those moments when you feel that you're reaching out for food again and there's a possibility that you're gonna binge, you actually pause yourself and you question yourself, am I actually feeling hungry? Or am I maybe feeling upset or stressed because someone said something upsetting to me? And by having this sort of awareness can already help you to reduce the amount of times that you binge. And also in those moments, it might be quite helpful for you to have some other alternatives, how you could deal with this stress or this feeling of being upset. So for instance, maybe you could start journaling, or maybe you could call a friend, or maybe you could just go for a walk. That will be it for today, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and please let me know in the comment section if maybe there are some other ways of how you dealt with your binge eating habits, and I'm gonna see you in the next one then. Thank you. Bye bye.